Darryl Lierman will spend the rest of his life in prison. He sat emotionless in Antelope County District Court Wednesday, March 28th, as District Judge Mark Johnson sentenced the 51-year-old Neely man to a minimum of 70 years and a maximum of 140 years in the Nebraska Department of Corrections for 8 felony counts of sexual assault of a child and child abuse. Lierman was given credit for 270 days served. Lierman declined to speak when Johnson provided the opportunity prior to sentencing. Instead, his defense counsel, Doug Stratton of Norfolk, read a letter Lierman had written. In the letter, Lierman said it took strength to do the right thing and courage to get on the stand and tell the truth. He said, "I stand before you, an innocent man." During allocution, Antelope County lead prosecutor in the case, Joe Smith of Norfolk, took offense to Lierman's statement of innocence and discrediting the jury who found him guilty on all 8 counts. During trial testimony, 2 juveniles testified they were subjected to sexual assault by Lierman. Smith described Lierman's character as that of a sexual predator. He did terrible things to the victims, to his wife, and to the community. Smith said Lierman's family had been torn apart and nothing justified his crimes. This was a jury trial, and you will recall, the trial was fair. He talked of the damage to the victims and told Johnson, "There is no sentence that you can give that essentially balances the scales." Lierman was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree sexual assault of a child, 2 counts of third-degree sexual assault of a child, and 3 counts of child abuse by a panel of 12 jurors on January 17th. Stratton told Johnson, "Simply put, I don't think the evidence was sufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt." Johnson spoke directly to Lierman and shook his head as he spoke of the victim in the case and said, "To use that love and trust against her to satisfy your desires." Johnson described the acts as the very worst of humanity. On counts 1 through 3, Johnson sentenced Lierman to a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 40 years in the Nebraska Department of Corrections. On counts 4 and 5, Lierman was sentenced to a term of 2 to 4 years in the Department of Corrections, and on counts 6 through 8, he was sentenced to a term of 2 to 4 years in the Department of Corrections. The terms are to be served consecutively. This is Joan Wright and Tara Purdy reporting for the Neely News and Leader.